My name is Chris Blows. I'm a shark attack survivor, above knee amputee, adaptive surfer and keynote speaker. How was I to know that this would ever be my story? Losing a limb is just something you never think would happen to you. What I've learned from my whole experience is that life will throw all kinds of challenges at you, and when you least expect. But there can be so much to gain if we can come out on the other side. It was close to 7.5 years ago that I laid in an induced coma surrounded by my family. On that night, my family received the worst possible news, that I had 10% chance of surviving that night and a 0% chance of waking up with no brain damage. I was at the bottom of a cliff bleeding out. I was 30 kilometres from the nearest hospital and I was 600 kilometres from the nearest trauma centre in Adelaide, and to be honest, that's that point when I actually thought, this is the end of my life. I'm only 26 years old, I'm bleeding out at the bottom of a cliff and I'm never going to get to see Chloe or my family ever again. I was on my way back out to a spot known as the Suck Rock when I got hit from the side, which felt like being hit by a truck. And I soon realised I was being attacked by a 4.5, 5 metre great white shark. I would have got within about an arm's reach of Nick, and the boys just felt this surge of water. I felt this surge of water, and it was the shark coming behind me again for the second time. One thing I can remember clearly is the boys carrying me across those rocks, talking to each other, trying to keep me awake. They'd get me to one platform, one would jump over, they'd pass me over. It's just, how they got me up those stairs is beyond me. We got about 11 kilometres down the road, and that's where we met the ambulance. The only issue was, by then, my heart had completely stopped. How I was going to get back to work as a carpenter? I left school at the end of year 11, that's all I knew. Losing one leg, I was told by doctors and nurses that it's probably going to be too unsafe, you'd never be able to get back to work as a carpenter. But I think it was only 3 months later, 4 months later, I was up on the roof, probably doing things I shouldn't have, but if I wasn't prepared to step outside of my comfort zone and try new things, I wouldn't have known that I was actually capable of this. Surfing now is hard, but not surfing would be harder. Sometimes I fall off more than I stand up, but at the end of the day, I know how lucky I am to still do it. Life is unpredictable, but what I have learnt from my whole experience is that through trauma and struggle, there is growth and learning. Through failure and setbacks, there is growth and learning. But these challenges serve a purpose in each and every one of our journeys.